John Chad Pike was a nobody, a grease monkey. He tinkered in a dusty garage off a forgotten highway in Nowheresville, USA. At least that's the image he cultivated, but Chad harbored a secret ambition, not the kind that settled for fixing busted taillights. Chad craved a life of luxury, a playground reserved for the super rich. He'd get there, not by winning the lottery, but by playing a different game, a high-stakes con, fueled by gasoline dreams and vintage car lust. His targets? America's elite, ripe for the picking, Chad was a natural charmer. His smile could light up a room, and his easygoing demeanor made people feel instantly at ease. He had a way of making everyone feel like they were the most important person in the world. He spun tales of restoring classic cars for celebrities, dropping names like confetti. He'd talk about the time he worked on a rare Ferrari for a Hollywood star, or how he once restored a vintage Porsche for a tech billionaire. He knew his marks: Wall Street wolves, tech moguls, trust fund babies. These were people who lived in a world of high stakes and high rewards, always looking for the next big thing to set them apart. People who equated money with taste and craved exclusivity. They wanted something unique, something that no one else had, and Chad knew exactly how to play into that desire. He'd invite them to his workshop, a carefully curated stage. It was a place where every detail was meticulously planned to impress and awe. A few genuine vintage parts scattered around, strategically placed to catch the eye and spark interest. A beat-up photo of him shaking hands with a famous racer, a lie of course. It was all part of the illusion, a carefully crafted narrative to build trust and credibility. He played the aw-shucks mechanic, reluctant to part with his treasures. He'd act as if he was doing them a favor, letting them in on a secret world of rare and valuable cars. His clients, blinded by their own desires, swallowed it whole. They were so eager to believe in the dream he was selling that they never stopped to question the reality. The scam was beautiful in its simplicity. It was a masterclass in deception, a con that preyed on the dreams and desires of car enthusiasts. Chad would dangle the impossible: a rare Ferrari 250 GTO, a pristine Mercedes Gullwing, cars that were the stuff of legends, all for a fraction of the market price. The deals seemed too good to be true, and they were. Barn finds, he'd call them, hidden gems. He claimed to have unearthed these treasures from forgotten places, untouched by time. He'd weave elaborate stories about their origins, forging documents, even creating fake racing pedigrees. His attention to detail was impeccable, making the lies all the more believable. His victims, blinded by the allure of a bargain and the prestige of owning such a car, opened their wallets wide. Millions changed hands, except the cars? Sophisticated replicas. They looked perfect, but they were nothing more than expensive illusions. Good enough to fool the untrained eye, but worthless to a collector. The scam left dreams dashed and wallets significantly lighter, a harsh lesson in the cost of desire. The whispers started subtly. A collector noticing inconsistencies at a car show. A mechanic spotting discrepancies in the engine block. Soon, whispers became shouts. The FBI, alerted to the scale of the scam, launched an investigation. They pieced together the elaborate web of lies, the shell corporations, the forged documents. It was a house of cards, and when they pulled, it all came crashing down. The raid on Chad's workshop was national news. The images of furious collectors, their priceless cars being towed away, were splashed across newspapers and websites. The trial was swift. The evidence against Chad was overwhelming, leaving little room for doubt. Witnesses recounted their experiences, painting a vivid picture of his deceitful actions. Chad, the once charming mechanic, became a symbol of greed and deceit. His charm had masked his true intentions, fooling many who trusted him with their prized possessions. The judge threw the book at him, delivering a sentence that reflected the gravity of his crimes. The courtroom was silent as the verdict was read, the weight of justice palpable. But the true cost of his scam wasn't measured in dollars or years served. It was the emotional toll on his victims, the trust that was shattered beyond repair. It was the betrayal of trust, the feeling of being duped by someone they considered a friend. The handshake that once symbolized a bond now felt like a cruel joke. The shattered dreams of collectors who thought they'd found a kindred spirit. They had envisioned a future filled with shared passion and camaraderie, only to have those dreams dashed. It left a stain on the vintage car world, a community that prided itself on trust and mutual respect. The betrayal was a wound that would take time to heal, a constant reminder that even the most beautiful facades can hide ugly truths. The gleaming exteriors of the cars now seem to mock the hidden rot within. As for Chad, he sits in a cell, isolated from the world he once thrived in. The silence of his confinement is a stark contrast to the bustling workshop he used to command. A world away from the roar of a finely tuned engine, the thrill of a successful restoration, his days are now filled with regret and reflection, left to ponder the wreckage he created. The once vibrant world of vintage cars now feels like a distant memory, overshadowed by the consequences of his actions.